All right, and this sister is a former wife of a man named Shabar who used to be a part of Sakari. Now, recently, Shabar has been going on a tirade trying to protect Sakari and Gorilla Hebrew for all the wrongdoings that they've done and try to demonize us and other brothers and sisters for the evil things that they've done and say that we're wicked. And also, too, we've had an encounter with him on Clubhouse, right? And what happened was Shabar came on and he started become when we made this room rebuking Alazar, he came on with a really, really off spirit and talking real reckless. And he was talking about how righteous he was and all this other stuff. And then come to find out, he doesn't even take care of his kids. A brother named 44 Swift, I believe, the brother that used to be a part of GMS Chicago. He ended up telling us, and there was other brothers with him, that yeah, he don't take care of his kids. He had this sister right here, Sarah, all right, and her kid that he hasn't taken care of. Yet he's going around rebuking and talking about how bad everybody else is. To the point where there's been I believe threats of violence. If the sister can correct me on that, and also too just completely neglect upon his household, right? So, with that being said, brother Ikron, you want to say anything?
No, man, I think we should just move forward now and let the sister bring out her testimony, man, because
Con.
this is ridiculous, man. And it's got to be addressed. Because you can't just go around pretending to be all holy or like you're following the Most High, and not be taking care of your family first. So how are you going to lead and preach the truth when you don't even have your own house in order? You know what I'm saying? It just doesn't make any sense. But yeah, let's move into this then.
Okay. Yeah. So Sarah, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Okay. No, all praises. Yeah, please give your testimony. Um, and as brothers and sisters are coming in, shalom, of course, that's brother Ikaran, Aliyah, Yashala the Mighty, Yah bless all praises. And then Alon, Shalom, I'm almost done making sure people in my house straight. Just send me the link to my inbox. All praises, we'll do that. Yeah, but without further ado, sister, please give your testimony. We're going to give you the floor to say everything you need to get out and reveal what's been going on with this individual Shabar.
Okay. Well, me and Shabar met a little over 2 years ago, almost going on three. And when we first met, we really didn't court for that long. It was like he was in a rush. And please don't mind my daughter in the back. So we he was rushing the courtship. And fast forward to when we moved in together, I found myself paying for everything. I was working very hard, and he wasn't working at all. I would find myself giving him my money, just doing whatever I could to make sure me and him were good. And a month in, we found out we were having a child, and that's when he informed me that we had to move out of the room that we were living in. We were living in a room inside of the brother's house, and we had to move out for certain reasons. It was really because he wasn't paying the rent as he had informed me that he was, but he was not. And so after I moved out, I had to go right back into my parents' house. And from thence, before that, while we were in the room, he was already showing me that he was violent 2 weeks in, slapping glass off the dresser and cutting his hand, yelling at me and emotionally neglecting me. So right after all of that and the commotion, we moved out. I was in my parents' house, and I was carrying his child, is when he got even more, distant and hostile and creating arguments and fights and calling me out of my name, calling me all kinds of B words. Um, I guess he was upset and angry at him clearly being homeless and me not being able to help him. So eventually after I moved into my parents' house, he moved out of the city and he went back to Chicago. Um and when I would try to call him and contact him, it turned into me harassing him because he had left me the way he did. And when he got back to Chicago, I would call him and he would tell me on the phone that he really didn't like me as much and he didn't think we were together. He just totally switched on me from then. And he left me all the way up to I was 21 weeks pregnant. 23 weeks pregnant is when he came back, but it was forcefully, like it was as if he was forcing himself to come back to me because the sister that he was living with had kicked him out. It was a lot of domestic violence going on between the two of them, so she kicked him out because he was also sleeping around with other women in that city. And he came back to me, and he was cursing me out and calling me out of my name once again, calling me all kinds of whores and b words, and humiliating and embarrassing me in front of other people outside. And it got to a point where I just left the place that I resided in with him and went right back to my parents. And my parents could clearly see that he was dealing with something spiritual, some demons that he had on him. And before I had moved out of that establishment, I was with him in it for 3 days. He had a woman call me on the phone and basically called herself cursing my unborn child, because he was associating himself with women that was dabbling in divinations and witchcraft. So she called my phone and was calling herself cursing my child. For a man who's of God, you should not be doing that. You should be protecting your wife, your so-called wife, and everything. So that's what happened before he had came back and resided with me for those 3 days. It was a lot of craziness and back and forth of unseemly things he was doing before he came down to me. And so after I had moved out of that establishment that I was with him in for 3 days, um, he vanished again. He left, and I guess he went right back to Arizona or Chicago because he's always bouncing around into different states. And like, once again ignoring me, and this time getting on social media and telling people that I'm a whore, and that I'm a prostitute, and that I slept with different men in the community, which wasn't true. Um he came back again for a baby shower, and at this baby shower he wasn't really being nice to me at all. It was forced once again. Took pictures, and then after he left, he told me that we didn't have to be together because we had a baby together. Playing the mind games again and saying things that should have never been said. And he went back to the Chicago, to wherever he was staying at, because the sister, she was like at this point helping him financially. And I was texting him and letting him know that it wasn't right for him to leave while I was about to give birth, once again harassing him and bothering him, as to why he left me again. And when it was time to give birth, like a week before my due date, he came back and was like cursing and carrying on because my parents wouldn't allow him to stay inside of my parents' house with me. So the day that I got induced, sorry, the day that I got induced, I had to basically like force him to come into the doctor's room. And when we were in the doctor's room, the day that I was about to push the baby out, he was high off of marijuana. And the doctors had informed me that he was in the bathroom also smoking marijuana. And as I was pushing out my child, he he was arguing with me and my mother. He was making all kinds of, negative statements as I was pushing his daughter out. So after I had the baby, fast forward to when I went back to my parents' house, Because my parents didn't want him to stay in the house with me because of how, mentally um disturbing he was and how spiritually off he was mad, and he was once again missing, didn't want to come and see her. He eventually, after that week of her being born, he left back to Chicago. At this point is when it got really, really rough. He started making comments as telling other brothers and them telling me that I'm a concubine, and them having to tell me, like, I'm getting these messages from people that I didn't know, and people that didn't know me or him. They just knew that I was the mother of his child because of how badly he would go around and talk about me. So he was telling people that I was a concubine, that I was a whore. He allowed one brother to verbally attack me, like right after, you know, this is a sensitive time for me. And it's like he allowed the brother to attack me verbally and also make accusations against me that weren't true. So he's missing, the whole year and 7 months of her being on this earth, breathing and living. And I've profusely begged this man through text message, through calls, to come be a father, see his daughter, and try to get himself together so that he can, help me provide for her so that we could possibly be a family. And he was just gone. And when he would see other people associating themselves with me, he would harass them as well and tell them that I'm all kinds of whores and B words. And also said that I slept with different men in the community, that I'm a prostitute, and that a couple of brothers paid for me inside of a hotel to sleep with me. It was a lot of disturbing rumors that I would hear about myself, and things that he would say to other people because they were associating themselves with me. Um and it got to a point where he started denying the paternity of his child and saying she wasn't his, telling posting making posts on Facebook and saying that I forged his signature on a birth certificate. Also saying that it could be anyone's child, and ignoring me. And when it came to me asking him if he wanted to be a father or not, he would ignore me and pretend like he didn't know who I was. And just recent last year, he moved into my parents moved him in because they wanted to make it work when I had already moved on into their establishment. And he ended up calling ACS on me and basically forging that I was neglecting and starving his daughter. So I had to move out because he had also sexually assaulted me and was trying to force himself on me and try to force me to pray with him. So me fleeing from that establishment and going into my auntie's house, he began to call my auntie's house and say all kinds of, disgusting things towards her and about me, and that my parents were informing him and basically giving him ammunition to use against me. I had, I had, of course, had to face DCF, and eventually the case was closed. At this point, I had already made 3 police reports on him because of the harassment and the online cyberbullying and the defamation of my character. And I also have an open court case, of custody, that I have to go back and forth to court for. And also recently texting my mom and telling my mom I that I needed to figure out who the father of my child is to his daughter. And recently going on Clubhouse and telling people that he hoped me and his daughter died. He was saying this specific statement for going on 2 years now, and I also have the screenshot proofs of him saying he hoped me and his baby died. It's now, getting very overwhelming. It's now becoming more gruesome, the things that he says about me.
Con. Shalom, grace and peace to everybody.
Right? The guy that's trying to take after these camps, he's doing the same thing, unfortunately. And I'm sorry to say that, sister, but we got to be blunt with what he's doing. You know what I'm saying? Because what's horrible, and after this, I'm gonna give it over to the next brother, or if you want to say something about this, right? Yourself, Sarah. it's really deplorable to hear that he's talking shit, Slakia, no disrespect. He's talking really bad and dirty about you and your kids while you're having the baby. Like, I don't know what the hell's going on. Like that is beyond sickness to talk bad about your seed and the woman that's bearing your seed while you're having a child, and then not paying for rent. And it's just, this is so, there are so many testimonies of this. And you look, there's brothers and there's sincere men out here that are trying, that are doing the best they can, probably can't even have jobs, and they're still trying to provide for their kids and their children some kind of way in this knowledge. But you have these individuals out here who are trying to be teachers, trying to act like they're healing people, act like they're these great teachers or a leader, and yet they're not even taking care of their own business at home, which is the structure and foundation of your relationship with the Most High Himself, with your children and with your wife. If you wanted to say something, Sarah, than anybody else.
Hey,
Um,
can y'all hear me?
God.
yes, that I can see that he's extremely mentally unstable. Like he has mental issues, and he would possibly do harm to me or my children.
Sister, if I could, did he say that he said that he was gonna harm you and your children straight out, right? Is that what you're saying?
No, but the way that he's speaking now and saying that he hoped we die, and just the anger and the rage just lets me know that he would probably do that.
Mm, go ahead. If you believe that he's gonna do that, how about you just take out a restraining order against him?
I already have one.
Okay, you already have one.
Yeah,
Okay, cool.
she gave us screenshots of all the paperwork. We got all the receipts.
A lot of people are sitting up here saying, yeah, everything that is being said about Shabar is true. I guess everybody's had an experience with this individual, or at least one way, form, or another. So this is not, you can't sit up here and say this is gossip, this is lying, this is being disrespectful. All right, no, this is something that's actually true, and of course, it's coming from your testimony, right? But of course, the scriptures say, "Out of the mouth of two or three witnesses shall a matter be established." So, if that's the case, everything that you're saying is being confirmed by other people. So, and we understand, sister, because we've dealt with other sisters that have been involved with these cancer, these individuals who are mentally unstable. They've came to us, and sometimes in certain cases they have shown a certain sense of fear of what these people might do to them, because we've heard guys beating the hell out of their wives while they're pregnant. Okay, I mean, there's cases of that. I'm not going to name names. There's cases of guys assaulting women. All right, I think she might have dropped off. So it's out here for brothers and sisters to see, is only going to soothe your soul and make you feel relieved and free, if that makes sense, sister.
It does. Like it just gives me that relief that I'm not the only one who's saying this, and that I'm in fact not a liar, and that this man is um affecting a lot of people in this community. There's also sisters that he have, harassed and put his hands on as well. As I've shown in my receipts, it was another sister named Autumn, that he posted half naked because she moved on from him after he humiliated and took her for everything she had.
And he posted this, her half naked. What was his reasoning behind that?
She had committed adultery and moved on with another brother.
What?
Okay,
Yes. It wasn't
yeah, that's
even
where.
just that. He was also physically abusive towards her while he was in Sakari, and I believe that they got on him for that. And me and her story was very similar. It was, but she had domestic violence involved, and I didn't. It was more verbal abuse. But the taking our money and having us bankrupt after he was done with us, and then discarding of us and sending us back to our parents' house, it was very similar, which means he
So
does this to every sister.
he was sending the women back to the parents' house.
Yes, like after he was done like milking us from whatever he could get out of us. And when he realized we didn't have any more for him, he would just like leave us wherever we were and send us away. With me and Autumn, we just went back to our parents' house because we had our parents. But for other sisters, I don't know what the case may have been, but he would just like abandon us, just leave, and go wherever he could mooch off of someone else. Um, and leave us hanging. And in Autumn's case, he told her that he was going to marry her again, when he got himself together. Absolutely. And in this case, my father had told me to leave him alone because he could see how tormented this man was mentally, and he did not want me with him at all. He had advised me to just put him on child support and just keep it moving. He didn't want me with him at all.
When it comes to these individuals like Shabar, and he doesn't take care of his children, and he has to be held accountable for that. All right, in some way, form, or fashion, and that's what that to me. That's when that particular law is actually I'm not against that, because I've seen situations outside of the knowledge. Right, just take this outside of the knowledge. I've seen situations where there are people that have not taken care of their kids, right? And the woman's doing everything. She's being a sincere woman, and whether it be Jake or Gentile, and they said, listen, I had to put him on it because, like, how else am I gonna I'm single. I'm doing what I can. I'm not trying to take advantage of them. I want to be able to support my kids, but we can't, and especially in this current climate. I think in this situation, this is where it actually applies, and it has to be made. You have to hold him accountable, because otherwise, if you don't do that, then what is he ain't taking care of his kids, and she's by herself. What other option does she have? You know what I'm saying? So to me, with this situation, that's where this child support thing isn't really extortion. It's really more of holding that individual accountable. But it is utilized for wicked purposes, for sure. But at the same
Child
time,
support.
no, but I'm just saying. But at the same time, and no, child support is wicked. I'm not saying it's not. I'm not saying it's not wasn't set up for a wrong, an evil purpose. But all I'm saying is that when it comes to this individual and individuals like this, you have to be held accountable. Because even in the scriptures, if you're not taking care of your kids and your wife like a man ought to, you know what penalty that is? That's death. That's slothfulness. So he if he was doing this shit back 2,000 years ago, when Christ was walking the earth, they would have stoned his ass. So I'm saying that child support, if for you to sit up here and deny your child and talk shit about your child while they're being born and to your mother, that's psychologically unstable. Back then they'd have killed you for that. All right. It's grace and mercy that it would be being put on child support. It's grace and mercy that you get put on child support than the ulterior. So that's all.
Okay.
So that's all I'm saying. But I just real quick. Let me deal with something real quick, because I want to bring this scripture out in the book of Titus. I believe it's about, because the threats of violence. This is not something that we're supposed to do.
Own thing.
Yeah.
Nah, he didn't break off. He got kicked out, and supposedly, I wasn't there, but supposedly from the brother Swift on Clubhouse, he was going couch to couch, prospecting with different camps, trying to feed off.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so Bishop Melchizedek said he stole ties. So okay, so there you go. And then here's the just hold real quick. Here's the man in question, Shabar for truth. So you laughing your ass off. So you think this is funny, talking shit about your seed, man, and the wife that bared your seed. So you think that's funny? You think that's funny, sitting up here threatening and whatnot and doing all and being a bum and not taking care of your kids? That's funny, right? You not working, you not providing for yourself and your family. That's funny, right? Can't wait to go live. Who gives a shit about your live? You're a bum, man. Take care of your wife and kids, man. Repent. Yeah, this shit is not fun. All right, my bad. Let me go ahead and hit this scripture, man. Like this dude's a fucking monkey, man.
He was receiving tithes.
No, he stole the tie. He stole tithes money, apparently, according to Bishop Melchizedek. You, Shabar, since you're up in the chat, you coward. He desireth a good work, a true good work for that matter, a bishop who's an officer, who's a overseer of the body of Christ, right? A bishop then must be blameless. Are you blameless, Shabar? Beat, not, threatening your wife and whatnot, your kids, talking shit about your kids and your wife, being a bum. Is that being blameless? The husband of one wife, vigilant, sober. All right, vigilant, sober, and of course you're not sober when you're smoking and drinking all goddamn day and smoking up cat's bud and shit. Of good behavior, and of course your behavior is putrid. Given the hospitality, well, how can you be hospitable when you're sitting up here bumming it out and living and shacking it with every other camp, basically being like a male prostitute and a male whore? I'm gonna move this direction because they got some goods. I'm gonna move this direction because they got some goods. That's some low level nigger shit. I'm just gonna call it what it is. Apt to teach, right? Which you shouldn't be teaching nobody. Not giving a wine, no striker, not greedy, right? Stealing ties, according to Bishop Melchizedek, and it's stealing people's weed and butt and whatnot. A filthy lucre, and you want clout, you probably want money, who knows? It's probably why you started the group. But patient, right? You have no patience. I mean, talking shit about your unborn child is beyond sick. Not a brawler, not covetous, one that ruleth ruleth well his own house, having his children in subjection with all gravity. And that's the part right there, man. To rule your own house and having his children in subjection with all gravity and with all balance, with all stability. And of course, you're unstable. You're going all these different directions and shit, man. Actually, let me pull up another scripture real quick. Let me go ahead and go. Let's go ahead and go to Hebrews, and I'm going to continue on that verse, Hebrews 6:9. And we're showing you love by telling you who the hell you are, man. All right. So you want to sit up here and say, "Oh, well, we hate you. We hate your brother." Well, you know what? If rebuke and correction is hatred, then you hate the Most High, and you're in danger of hellfire. So, this is James chapter 1, verse 8. Slakia. A double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. So, if you're double-minded, I'm gonna leave Sakar, then come back, and then leave, and then go to ISUBK. I'm a prospect there. I'm gonna start my own thing. I'm gonna start this thing. I'm gonna go over here, go over there. You know what I'm saying? That's double-minded. You're unstable. All right. So let's go back to Timothy, and I'm gonna read this last verse right here. But patient, not a brawler, not covetous, one that ruleth his own house, having his children in subjection with all gravity. For if a man know not to rule his own house, how shall he take care of the church of God? I'm going to read that one more time since Shabar is trolling in the damn chat. For if a man know not how to rule his own house, how shall he take care of the church of God? Shabar, take care of your wife and kids, man, before you sit up here and try to take care of the house of God. And clean yourself up and get some goddamn sense in that goddamn brain, man. Go ahead.
So this man he's claiming to be in some type of leadership position over Israel. Is that what he's claiming?
Yes.
I wanted to add some.
Okay.
Yeah,
That
look in
don't
the
seem
comments
good.
real quick. Look in the comments real quick. He's making some accusations in the comments.
Con,
He's saying
you know
that
what?
he's saying that you're trying to put your kid up for adoption.
Yeah, I did do that, and I never denied that because he was not helping me with the child. It got very hectic. Although I did not want to do that, he was not. It got to a point where he was saying he hoped she died, he hoped I died, and that he didn't want anything to do with us. Trying to also pass us on to another brother and saying he don't want us. I'm not denying that at all. I'm not denying anything. I'm not. You know. I was more focused on my daughter having a father, a stable-minded dad, and also us struggling financially, to get by. There were like months where the government couldn't help me, and I had to go to the pantry and get food because we had no food in the house. Like I didn't know where I was gonna get her some more clothes at or shoes. Meanwhile, he was on the other hand, clowning us and laughing at us because we were struggling. So it had nothing to do with me being bitter towards him. I have absolutely nothing towards this man at all. Like I just hope he repent. But the adoption was never about me not, you know, having this anger towards him. I don't have anything towards him.
You can't,
Hey,
take care of
hey,
the
real
child or
quick.
whatever.
Hey, real quick. Real quick. I don't. Let's not deal with that real quick. I just want to. We want to just deal with this testimony with Shabar and the sister. All that other extra stuff. All right, that situation can be
Yeah,
handled. We want to deal with the situation at hand because that's the point of the video.
and Shabar, I want to say something too, bro. You'll have your chance to come out. Just wait till we deal with this first. You can wait in the chat room patiently if you can do that, and then you will be able to come up and state your case.
And I have never withheld this man's child from him. He only contacted me recently because I moved on with someone else. Um, I have begged him profusely to be a father. I have harassed him about her. So him saying all of that in the chat, saying that I withheld this child from him. I don't play with children at all. Like I really want my kid to have a father, and he was playing with her the whole time.
Before I go, okay, real quick. Let me address this comment that he just said. Before I go live, y'all got 10 minutes. You don't run shit up here. You can go ahead and go live and be a coward and not deal with this. You're going to wait, just like anybody else has to wait with this situation, because right now you're looking bad. And it's not that it's not that Sarah's saying this. There's many other people saying this about you, dude. All right. So, you need to calm yourself down right now. Oh, well, yeah, Shabar left, which I knew he wasn't gonna stay. He can do all the live streams he wants to do. We don't have to do any live streams. You're gonna have to deal with this. You know what I'm saying? With what you did to Sarah and your child. It's fucked up, man.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah, Shabar, you're back and you want to talk shit again in the chat, bro. Nobody cares that you went live, bro.
Yeah, fuck all that, man. Like you had listen, you had an opportunity to come up on here and address your wife. Oh my god, you punk. Go ahead. Sorry. Go ahead, man. I'm getting tired of this coward ass niggas. Shabar said, "I went live. Go check and proof for yourself or be a foot." Listen, let me read this. For sure, this YouTube video slander against my name. The evidence has been provided. You now look stupid. You're in the midst of sin. You are a coward. You didn't come on, and you could have absolved your name by addressing the situation at hand. You could have waited. But of course, your woman is not going to stay here for fucking ever. She got a life. You coward. You're a clown. Like your lifestyle has been since you got kicked out of that. Fuck you, you bitch ass nigga. And if you're talking about whether you're talking about being icon does not matter. It doesn't make a difference. You got kicked out, then talk shit about him, then joined back, and then left. That makes you double minded. You're literally a walking example of James 1:8. You stupid fuck.
Yeah, and from what people are saying, you're going around prospecting at different camps and sleeping on people's couch, eating up all their food, not working, mind you, and smoking up all their weed. So you're still smoking weed, brother. So your words do not matter to us, man.
Don't mean
do not matter to us one bit, bro. And also, who's that comment towards? He says, hopefully you wake up and be a better father than your father was to you. But
you're
this
talking
is
about
why
yourself.
you're not even. He says you're not even blessed to have children, bro. I got a daughter and I take care of mine, bro. How about you?
Right? Who the fuck are you talking to? You must be talking about yourself because you need to take care of your wife and kids, man. Coward. Yeah, get the fuck out of here, bum.